Hi guys, and welcome to this course, How to Create a Finance Planner which will track your monthly spending in Microsoft Excel. Over here you've got the Overview tab, and in this column you can see this is your average monthly spend. This column shows what your total yearly spend is, and this shows what your finances will look like in 5 years from now. Over here you've got the monthly estimator, where you can make hypothetical changes and it would reflect how your balance would look like in 5 years from now in this column over here. So you can see if you had this was your income of $1,800 and you earned £340 or dollars from YouTube with all these bills to pay, your remaining balance by the end of 5 years would be $35,580. If you got a promotion and you increase your salary to £2,000 a month after tax, you can see this roughly increases by £12,000 and your new balance would be £47,580. This is the January to June tab, where you can see your month-by-month spending. When you scroll down here, you can see your total income minus expenses, and it gives you a remaining balance to let you know if you're spending too much or if you've got money left over. And it uses a colour-coded system, either red or green, to show you if you're spending too much or not, so you can quickly see this at a glance. This tab is July to December, which is not filled in, but at the end of each month, then you will fill in the details, as you will know what you have spent. By the end of this course, you'll have learned all the skills you need to create something that looks like this for yourself, and it only takes around 30 minutes to do so. Hi guys, so in this lesson I'm going to be showing you some of the basics to use Excel. Now over here you've got a worksheet, and to add another one you would click the plus icon. To delete this you would right click and click delete. Now to rename I would double click on it and type in what I want to call it, which is going to be January to June. Now each of these little boxes, they're called cells, and you can work out the cell reference by looking at the column letter and the row number, which are both highlighted. So this would be I10, and it's displayed in this top left hand corner over here. Now I can type in text, so that's meant to say hello, or numbers, or both text and numbers. I can highlight all the cells in the spreadsheet by pressing Ctrl and A, or by clicking this button over here, and I can make changes to the font size, the font style. I can make it in bold, italics, or underlined. I can also press Ctrl B for bold, I for italics, or U for underlined, and I can have all three on at once if I want. Over here I can create a colour for the background of the cell, which is yellow. I can choose any other colour from here, but notice that white is different to the no fill option, and that's because it gets rid of those lines on the outside. So I'm going to change this back to no fill so it looks like a normal cell. I can style the colour of this one to a light blue, or any of these other colours. I'm just going to delete all these by pressing delete. But if I made a mistake, I can press Ctrl Z for undo, or Ctrl Y for redo, and it's the same with these arrows, undo, redo. I'm going to show you how to copy text. So if I press Ctrl and C, I can then paste this over here, and it will remain in the same place as it was before. I can use right click, copy, and right click and paste. If I wanted to move this from this cell to another cell, I would press Ctrl X or right click and cut, and then I would paste it over here, and it removes it from its old location. I can resize the shape of the cells and the rows. If I was to insert a new row by right clicking and insert, it would copy the properties of the row above it, whereas if I did one down here, it would just be normal. But because this one was adjusted, the following one is also adjusted. If I was to colour this in yellow and I inserted a column, this would also be yellow. Now I'm just going to delete all of this. A quick way to get rid of all of this is to just select it all, right click and delete. Now over here is the function bar, and this displays exactly what you're typing out in the cell, but it's just a bit bigger and sometimes easier to work with. So to type out a function, you use the equals button, but first we need some numbers, so we're going to use 5 and 6. So if I was to type out equals here, I would use this cell reference, add this cell number or cell reference equals 11, and that adds up those two numbers. And if I change this number to 7, it automatically calculates it. Now to do a subtraction, I would have to change this to the dash or minus sign, and that would give me the answer of 1. Now to multiply the two numbers, I would use the star sign. And for divide, I would, if I double click into it, double click into the cell, I can also edit it. And for dividing, I would use the slash. Now if I wanted to merge two cells together, such as this and this, I would press this button here, merge, and it just makes the two cells into one, and it automatically puts the text in the center. And to unmerge it, I'd press the same button again. If I wanted to merge a large area like this and start typing, when I enter, you can see that I can put the text in the middle, top, bottom, left, or right, just wherever I want it to go really. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at creating headings and styling them with some colour. So I always like to start in the cell B2 just to leave a bit of a gap around the border. So the first heading will be called income, and the subheadings will be job. And if you've got any other income from having a YouTube channel or renting out a property, you would enter that figure in here. So let's just say we have a YouTube channel. The next heading will be bills, and we have to pay our mortgage. We need to pay for our phone bill, let's say gas and electricity. We will have Netflix, and we've got a Spotify. The next thing we pay for is travel costs to get to work and back, and wherever else we go. So the first cost is the cost of the car if we've got one, which we'll say we have, and that's either petrol or diesel, but we'll call it fuel. And on top of fuel, occasionally we get the train to work if we're travelling to somewhere new, let's say. We've also got food costs, and this is going to be broken down into daily, which is the stuff we buy every day, whether it be a Tesco meal deal and an extra snack or something, and our grocery. Whenever we do our grocery shopping every week or every few days, however often, that's what we're going to call that. We'll split the two categories up. And the last one will be other, and that will also have other. Now there's one thing I forgot, and that's to add the month name. So by highlighting two rows, I can insert two rows by clicking the insert button, and that's because I want to leave a gap underneath the word January from my heading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make everything a size 12, and then I want this one to be size 14 and in bold. Now I can select multiple cells at once by holding down Control, and this will allow me to modify more than one cell at a time. I'm going to make all my headings bold, and I want them to have a blue colour, a blue background behind them. I want this to have an orange background. This month name over here, January, I want that to be in orange. And I want these other headings and the data that I'm going to enter into a yellow background. So what I need to do here is then make the heading go over two cells, and I'm going to do that by using the merge function. And the same with the month name as well, just so it shows that all the data underneath it belongs to that. Now, as you can see, gas and electricity is going over a bit too big. It's going past the B cell into the C cell, but if I was to type something in there, you can't read it. So I'm just going to double click this this line in between B and C, and that makes the text width or the column width match the text. So what we're going to look at in this lesson is adding data and calculating the subtotals. So I'm going to make up these figures, and let's say that's 1500, this will be 200, we've got a mortgage of £800 or dollars, it depends where you're from, phone, let's say 50, gas and electricity we'll call it, I don't know, 50 as well, Netflix is 12 and Spotify is 10. Now let's say the fuel altogether for a month, when we add up all the fuel costs that we've put in our car, or all the petrol we've put in our car, it adds up to, I don't know, let's make up a number, 300. And the train, we occasionally get the train to work if we're travelling to a different office, so let's call that 40. Our daily, so if we buy a Tesco meal deal every day and it costs £4, we work roughly 22 days a month, so we'll do 4 times 22, which is 88. And our grocery shop, if we go 6 times a month, it all adds up to about £300. And our other, this includes stuff like going to the cinema or buying your friend a present or buying something for yourself. That's not necessarily a monthly habit, but just a one-off. We will call that, I don't know, 90. And now to add our subtotals. I'm going to insert a new row over here, and I'm going to call this income total. I'm going to make this into blue background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I can do that by Control C. Now to paste this, I can't just press Control and V because it doesn't leave a gap in between the two headings which I want it to. So what I'm going to have to do here is just copy this blank row and then insert that by using Insert Copied Cell. And what Insert Copied Cell does is it copies, I don't want to copy that, it copies the row that you want to copy. If I select copy and then if I press Insert Copied Cell, it inserts that row that I've copied, and it also leaves a row in between by inserting a new one, like that. And I'm just going to do it 2 more times. Now, in the last one I can just paste it because there's nothing below it, so it doesn't matter. And I'm going to change these names. So this is travel total. I've missed one there, that's meant to be bills total. So what I'm going to do is double click in between, or just anywhere inside that cell, because if I don't double click, then it will delete all the text already in there. So if I just click on it and start typing, it deletes everything that was in that cell and you type it out from scratch. So let's just make them in bold as well. And again, I'm doing this by holding down the Control key, and then I will press Control and B to make it in bold. So this will equal this cell, add the cell below it. Now there's another way to do addition, and that's to use the sum function. So I'm going to press SUM for sum, open brackets, and I'm going to select this range, close brackets. Now in between, from this cell here, C10, I've put a colon, and then I put this cell over here, C14, and that's just to show it that I want it to include everything in between. When I press enter, it adds it all up. I'm going to copy this cell over here and paste it over here, because what this cell function has got is adding 2 cells above it plus 1 cell above it, which is what I want it to do over here. So from this location I want it to add 2 cells above it plus 1 cell above it, and it gives me £340. And again I'm going to copy and paste that down here. Now over here I just want this to equal whatever is written in that cell, so I just press equals and the cell reference, which is C28. So if I change this to 80, that changes also. So to continue watching the rest of the course, you'll need to sign up to Skillshare using the link in the video description. And that will take you to this page where you can pick up where you've left off from video 5 and continue working your way through the rest of the course, which will eventually allow you to create something like the finance plan that I've shown you at the beginning for yourself. When you also sign up using this link, you'll get 2 months of premium membership for free, which will allow you to watch any other classes that you wish.